Hey, what's going on everybody? Aaron here. Today we've got another product review for you. It's the De'Longhi Dedica Espresso maker. This one is model EC680M. As per usual, we're going to start with an unboxing, then we're going to set it up, and then I'm going to live with it for a couple days, and then come back and just let everybody know how things are going. As a special thank you for today's sponsor, my mother, who thought I shouldn't be living in Seattle without an espresso maker and bought this for me for my birthday. So thank you. All right, let's get to it. Inside the box, we first got an instruction manual and set of warranty cards. I know that many people will just set this aside and never actually give it a look, but slow your roll. Taped inside is a couple of water hardness test strips, necessary to get going if you're not using distilled water. Next out is a starter solution of decalcification solution. This is followed by the 2 portafilter inserts. A single and double shot size are included. We've also got a scoop with an integrated, not really adequate tamper. The included portafilter is quite nice. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, and nicely, De'Longhi makes replacements, if anything should happen to this one, readily available. Finally, we've got the main unit itself. I personally find it very attractive and think it will fit well in most kitchens. It's not particularly large, so it doesn't take up much counter real estate, nor does it look small and cheap. It's got a nice combination of polished and brushed stainless steel and just generally feels high quality. It's also reassuringly heavy. The only included accessory that really falls short of expectations is the tamping end of the scooper. It's simply not rigid enough to compact espresso grinds appropriately. To get this job done, I went aftermarket. On Amazon, you'll find a number of high-quality 51mm tampers at reasonable prices. I'll place a link to this one below. It's an associate link. Use is greatly appreciated. The included cups are adequate. We've got a single double and 4 pre-packaged espresso packs. Our quick start guide just lets us know the basic steps to get the De'Longhi Dedica up and get running. It really just consists of filling with water, letting it warm up, and then priming by opening the steam valve. When it comes to plugging the unit in, the manufacturer has recognized that not everyone's outlets will be in the same position relative to the appliance. Therefore, we're provided cord cutouts that point left, right, and center. Nice touch. Then we've got the recommended water filter. Sadly, it's not included. However, I do not use one because I think there's a better way. In my machine, we run distilled water only. It's available at any grocery store and contains no dissolved solids. This way, I never need to worry about calcium buildup or water spots. Speaking of the water tank, it can be removed from the appliance for easy filling and then simply snapped back into place with nary a drop spilled. Unfortunately, as nice as the brushed stainless steel finish is, it does come with one drawback: fingerprints. The De'Longhi Dedica is really a magnet for them. Earlier in this video, I said I was going to unbox and then live with this product for a few days and then review. Well, those few days turned into a few months, which turned into about a year. So this has actually morphed into something of a long-term update. After using daily for many months, I can honestly say that I love this product. It works as well today as it did a year ago. I like to think that some of this unit's flawless performance is due to the fact that I take pretty good care of it. So let me walk everyone through my little espresso beverage preparation routine. Of course, that starts with turning the unit on. We'll first see our 3 buttons flash, which will lead into several seconds of blinking while the unit heats up a small amount of water, and then finally a solid light when we're ready to brew. Alright guys, now that we've kind of gone over the machine a little bit, I thought I'd give you a little demo on how it works, how I put together a latte. Obviously starts with my portafilter. I keep my espresso grinds sort of pre-ground in this little airtight container just so I'm not running this noisy conical grinder like every time I want a quick espresso or a latte during the day. I usually do it over the sink just to kind of keep things a little tidier. I use the scooper that comes with it, throw a couple scoops in there. I've got the 2-cup on there at the moment. And then I just kind of like use the edge of it to sort of smooth it over just to kind of get a nice level
bed in there. I'm gonna do that. And actually, that's not the world's levelest bed. A little more in that corner. There we go. That's what happens when you rush for the camera. You make mistakes. Okay, there we go. So I kind of just brush off the edges there. Then I use this 51mm tamper that I showed you guys a little bit earlier, and just give it one good press down on the edge of the counter there, the edge of the sink. And then sort of one of the things I said that earlier is that I really like to keep this clean. And one of the ways I do that, in addition to using the distilled water, is I always kind of make sure that this rim is sort of just wiped clean just with the edge of my finger before I put the portafilter on, just with the goal of keeping any grinds out of the boiler up there. So snap that on. The little espresso cups, the actual De'Longhi branded ones, they actually don't fit on this platform all that well. They sort of sit in the middle and kind of want to wobble around. So I don't use these all that often. But then again, I usually just make lattes or cappuccinos. So for that, I just got a glass that sits right underneath there. From here you can just hit start, or sometimes I'll add at this point just a little bit of syrup. This is just some vanilla. Just a tiny bit to give it a little bit of sweetness. Don't want to go Starbucks style there. And fire it in, hit the double button. It's really cool. I really love the way this comes out. It comes out like at first, almost like a Hershey syrup. Like it's just like really dark and thick. And then kind of as the grinds get spent, it sort of transitions into like this clear brownish water. So it kind of gives you a good visual indication of how much, you know, caffeine or coffee or espresso is left in the grinds. I'm not even sure that's the correct technical term, but it's kind of how I'm gonna say it, but I think you get the point. From here, we normally add our steamed milk. Before doing that, one thing I kind of have gotten into the habit of in my effort of always keeping this thing clean is, as we're just about done there, I'll swap in a paper towel and just let that drip out for just another moment. Most of the time, to make this steamed milk, I actually do not use the built-in steamer. I use this thing. It's a frother from Epica. It's a standalone unit. It's got a heater in it. It sort of spins it up. Really easy to clean. But for the purposes of this video, which is focusing on this espresso maker, I will use this steamer. Another reason I kind of don't like using this all that much is, well, I'll try and get a better shot here in a minute and overlay it. But this nozzle here isn't really that long, so it definitely doesn't hit the bottom of this, and it doesn't take much to fill up one of these glasses. So if you just want to steam a little bit of milk in this De'Longhi branded milk frothing cup, it doesn't really work in here. Another reason I use this. Also, second reason I don't use this a whole lot is one of the very few problems I've ever had with this unit is that it can overheat, and it's in the troubleshooting manual. If, for example, you're making lattes or espresso, whatever you're making on this, you're just using this machine, and all of a sudden these two lights start blinking kind of like in rapid succession, that means the boiler unit is overheating, and you just kind of have to walk away for a couple minutes and let it cool down. The only time I've ever actually had that happen is when I've been using this steam function. I've literally never had it. I've made like 5 espressos like rapid fire in a row. Never had a problem overheating. I've used this a couple times and I've had a little bit of overheating problem. So, you know, I know I've said I've really liked this unit overall. That's the one problem I've had with it, is that little bit of overheating issue if you use the steam function a lot. Before I do that, I'll finish up here. So now that this is dripped out a little bit, what I'll do, take this out. I've got this knock box. It's by Osaka. It's an Amazon purchase, pretty well reviewed. It works all right. I kind of have to hit it a little harder than I'd like because this is like a cushioned knock bar. Set that aside, give this a quick rinse. Set that off. And then without the portafilter in there, I'll kind of just wipe up this whole area really quick. I'll take an empty glass, put it under there while it's still hot, and I'll just run some of that hot distilled water through there, knock out any grinds that may have gotten up there, and keep it nice and clear for the next time. And I don't do that every time, maybe every fourth or fifth time I use it, something like that. You probably can't see it at all, but there's a few grinds in there that just kind of got knocked out from the boiler that made their way up there, despite trying to be careful otherwise, you know, brushing off the portafilter before we put it up in there. You know, again, just using that distilled water and using a clean portafilter without getting your grinds up there. And other than that, by doing those two things, it's pretty maintenance free. I will go ahead and steam a little bit of milk now and show you guys how that works. To do so, we've got our single cup, our double cup, and then we have our steam button. So we'll go ahead and press it on steam mode. See, and I don't like a whole lot of milk in there, so that's why I kind of don't like using this. So I'll try and get a better shot of this, but when you put it in there, it's just barely touching. But anyway, we'll make it work. Fire off the steam. Let it go here for a second. And then I stop it just kind of as soon as I feel that milk getting warm through the metal cup here. Makes the temperature estimations pretty easy. And there we go. There's a latte of sorts. Then to clean, I'll put it back on espresso. This little outer sleeve slips off. I'll do a quick rinse on that. Throw it in the drying rack. Kind of wipe that down itself really quick. And then, I keep going back to these clean glasses of water. I'll fill a cup really quick. Put it back on steam for a sec. Put that in there and then just open the valve a little bit for a second. There we go. Just let a little bit of steam out there. And then I'll blast it one more time there. There we go. I'll just let it run for a second. And I'm not really worried if I'm getting any little water spots here or there because this is distilled water, so it won't leave any spots. So then after everything's flushed, just kind of wipe everything down one last time. And it's ready to go for the next time. It'll shut off on its own. Sometimes you can just manually turn it off, but for most of the time I just kind of walk away and let it auto turn off. And that's how we make our latte. All right, that's all I had for you guys today. Links to these accessories are below, as well as the unit itself. Use is greatly appreciated. All right, take care.